Topic I wanted to talk about is music, NFTs, and Metaverse. I have been involved in Metaverse since February of this year, building immersive worlds for people to enter and interact, specifically with NFTs and music NFTs. So I co-founded a company called The Fantasy. It is a NFT metaverse platform earlier this year. And just a little bit background on me, I have a background in fintech, was PayPal counsel for about 6 years. And after that, in about 2013, I created a conference called Virtual Currency with a lot of the players in the blockchain space, like Winklevoss, Ripple, Coinbase, and a Forbes reporter who spent a month using cryptocurrency. And in about 14, 15, I co-founded a digital wallet. And in about 2017, I was involved in the community talking about blockchain. I was really surprised because in 2015, no one really cared about blockchain. And it just really around that time, I also started, talking about blockchain and Bitcoin on my radio show called Laptop Radio, just just basically educating people about, how do you purchase Bitcoin more, with the people who speak, without giving, financial advice. It's really awesome. Just really, what is Coinbase? How to sign up for Coinbase. Very basic things. And in about 2018, I started, just advising different companies on blockchain. And I've advised a few companies on payments prior, but there's an explosion of what is blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, how they interact, what is interplay between them and different kinds of tokens. So it's been really interesting. I think earlier this year, NFT has been around. Earlier this year, that there is an explosion of an art renaissance. So people are really interested in NFT, especially when we see the prices of NFT increasing. NFT is a unique with is an identifier, is on the blockchain. Um, but usually the media is on IPFS. Only a certain platforms provide the media on the blockchain. And it could be anything from collectibles, real estate, digital art, music. With music NFTs, I was just wanted to talk about, what is involved. I think the next wave besides gaming is music NFTs. And currently I'm working with an artist on a music NFT drop. So I thought that this topic from experience, it's relevant. Also, I think we've hosted about 15 concerts in the metaverse, over 15 concerts in the metaverse, every week in the summer. So when we talk about music NFTs, there are certain things to think about. Usually it has an audio file and a visual, which is a profile image or a GIF as a cover. So there are certain things that you would think about. How does your profile image or GIF would look like? Remember, they don't have any audio. And in terms of the NFT itself, usually I include an audio with an image or video, and so you really wanted to look at or feel, have the kind of really design the aesthetics around the audio and the profile image, and make sure that that is creative. I purchased one of the DJ's NFT, his music NFT with his DJ set. and that involves a MP4 with a profile image. But what the challenge was that some platforms don't allow you to upload the profile image, so the front image was blank. And then when you click on it, then you'll see the MP4, the video file with audio. So when you're thinking about which platforms meant, that's something to really think about. Popular platform like OpenSea and Element allows you to provide a profile image. And we were at that time looking at Screensaver, which didn't allow you to upload a profile image until we provided the comment on Twitter, where they changed it because it was really easy to create. And then in terms of, the package is really the look and feel of, your music NFT. There are different ways to do it. You can use a still image, and then you can attach the audio file to it. That could be your music NFT. However, I think people love interaction, and people also want to be able to upload and use that as a profile photo. So, and usually those don't have music yet. The social platform like Twitter and other places do not allow you to upload an audio file with your image. So those are some of the things that you think about when you're putting together the aesthetics and the audio. So we basically created a number of concerts, and so I wanted to really go over what to think about when you are working with a celebrity or an artist, and when you're creating the metaverse itself. The NFTs in the metaverse are really different. Metaverses are, usually, XR, AR, or a 360 experience. So the question is, who is going to come, to your metaverse? So you need to think about building a community. Who are the people who would listen to your song and go into your 3D world to support you and to support the artist? And community starts really first, when, in other companies, when we're doing it early before metaverse becomes popular, a lot of people do not know how to enter the metaverse, or they never done it before, so there's a learning curve. There so you would, basically educate the community on how to enter into the metaverse, and how to get in, and what do they do once they get in. Even navigation to the metaverse, remember, one person in the community was a little bit shy about going to the metaverse because he doesn't really know how to use the navigation controls, like walk around. And I spent some time just teaching him how to walk in the metaverse with him, how to walk straight, how to walk diagonally, how to use the controls. That is going to be really important, is really getting that community started and getting them educated on how to navigate once they're inside the metaverse. And then also, some other things that that was really interesting is in the metaverse you can fly. So there's education about how do you fly in the metaverse, and a lot of people love that. And then also which avatars to choose once you're in there, and how do you use the avatar. So that those are always really interesting and creative. I myself love different kinds of avatars, so the first thing I did was create different avatars and allowing people to choose the one that they love once they're in there. The second point I wanted to speak about is the stage and design of the metaverse. Metaverses, especially VR, is 3D. So there is web, XR, web, VR, where you can go in, but you don't need the Oculus. And then there's also Oculus-based metaverses where you would wear something in order to get in. With Web XR, you don't really need to, because a lot of people in your community do not have Oculuses. So there's just really something to really think about. Well, the people who don't have the headset, could they also can they interact? And from my experiences, it seems like, there isn't an issue when we did it. People were still able to get in, but we do spend a lot of time on thinking about the stage and design. So we're working with an artist right now, and a lot of what we talk about is, what kind of design does the artist like, and how do we create a metaverse that align with his type of look and feel and design. So that's something that I would think about when I'm thinking about launching a metaverse concert. The third point is engagement. So once your audience go enter the metaverse, what would they do? How are they engaged with other people? One thing about the metaverse is that people become avatars once they're in there, and where are the area that they can speak with each other, what kind of activities are in the metaverse that are available for the people that go in there. The engagement part is really interesting because it's interactive in 3D. It's different from just visiting a website. So creating activities for your audience is going to be really, really vital and important to the overall experience. In terms of the overall experience, some of the things that I would think about is, the overall look and feel of the metaverse. Think about the sound in the metaverse. Sound is the audio part is usually by approximation, where you are relative to other people and also to the stage. So the question is, where are you placing the stage? Where can people find and see, the concert? We had some live concerts, that I was involved in, and we had some concerts that were recorded, and definitely both of them work, and it just feels like those are live concerts. It's like going to watch a movie in a drive-through where you can see a big screen and you can see the live people singing. So you just want to make sure that the sound is perfect, that people can hear you, and making sure that the streaming from the screen and in the metaverse is real time so that people can watch the concert. So that's going to be really important. And then the last thing is this aesthetics, different from the NFT itself, is really the aesthetics of the metaverse concert, how everything kind of fall into place as a very big higher picture. From anything from how many people are in there, because computation is usually a challenge in metaverses. Usually, if a certain number of people go in, the metaverse might not work. So you have to be designing the overall population and making sure that each person could go in there and everything works fine, or else you'll crash the site. And then thinking about this design and the stage and how that interplay with the avatars and the people that are in there, how everyone is engaged, the look and feel of your skybox, as well as the map in the metaverse are going to be really important, and everything that you place in there. And balancing that out with technology, and also the people who go, the number of people who enter are going to be super important. And I myself really love, I spent July 4th in a metaverse, in a baseball stadium with fireworks, listening to music. So that was so I've been living in metaverses every week for a little while. We started with another company, a gallery showing NFT art, and then progressing with another company on concerts, and so I think that the experience has been really awesome. I really love um, enter into the metaverses for concerts and enjoying the music experience there, especially during hibernation and COVID. So this has been really entertaining. So if you want to follow us, it's Defintacy is on Linktree, and then you can sign up on Defintacy.com just to get information. You do win NFTs by participating in different activities. Does anyone have any questions?
You can also check the chat. I put a couple in there, but I could also just ask you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, like, so how did you get into this particular space? I know you sort of spent some time like in cool concerts in the metaverse during pandemic and more recently, but like, how did you, like, what really excites you most about the whole thing and what got you into it?
Yeah, so I'm an artist. You can find me on Twitter at @bitgoddesses and OpenSea and all the other site. I've been drawing and making art since I was 5. Naturally, I could charcoal. I could draw. I used to be able to draw by touch. The almost feeling how things look by just by touching things, like touching my face and being able to draw myself. It's incredible. And so I do a lot of airbrushing, watercoloring, photography. Just really continue to draw. I used to, for like in high school during lunchtime, I would do art every day, and there weren't any AP art, so I would go to my art teacher's room and just kind of do a lot of watercoloring and just things on my own for a year. He always basically said that when I go to Berkeley, I should pick up drawing. And of course, at Berkeley, I didn't. But I would make videos and different kinds of art by myself. I would help my family create wedding videos, and then in about when I was more established in my career, I on the side as a hobby, I created a weddings photography studio, and I did professional photography in terms of engagement, wedding, and runways, and also portraits photography. So I did that for a while, and it was a lot of fun for me shooting different weddings and engagement shots. And then I started designing 3D jewelry in a few years ago, in about 2013, doing a lot of 3D printed jewelry, that people can purchase and also wear in different kinds of materials. And after that, I mean, I was really good digitally, because I started using the Mac and designing comics on the computer. And so because I'm familiar and I did a lot of 3D art, with 3D objects, because that's essentially what 3D printing is. In about 2000, during hibernation, I did a lot of augmented reality art, actually went viral, and, had a lot of users, I think that's 3 million users, over 150 impressions just within that year. And so I did a lot of that. And of course I knew what NFT was, I as an artist, I love art. And so I spent last year just basically doing a lot of augmented reality, and this year when NFT became like a trend, I was naturally doing a lot of art, but what I found that is very limiting is that a lot of these platforms are 2D. And being someone who's really worked with a lot of 3D and also spatial computation, right? Because that's what essentially what augmented reality is. I don't really like the 2D platform. I just feel like they're really, really limiting. And so, I designed an NFT platform for OpenAI for one of the projects. And in about January, and then in about February, I basically was waiting for these platforms to approve me, and I basically said that if it takes 6 months to be approved, I could like create a platform myself. So for one of the project I co-founded, it was a metaverse gallery for an NFT, because I wanted 3D objects, so that people can purchase it. And there wasn't really one at that time. And while at that project, doing that project, um, we helped curate it, and a gallery for African American artists that made it international news around that time. And I also started, the idea of creating music concerts, because I go to Burning Man, I go to Coachella, and I love music. So that's when the metaverse concept and the 3D like version of all these 2D platforms pretty much came to life. And then I went to another startup. I was doing also another startup that was focusing on concerts. So I did that for a little while. That's where we had over 15 concert. Was one of the co-founder of that. And then I co-founded another company that was really which is Deep Fantasy, that focus on gaming and NFTs. And so that's in my journey of going through that entire process and learning a lot about what users and people who enter the Interverse want, and just really through the entire year pretty much. So, and leading to, we're doing a drop with a very well-known artist that will be coming up in December. So if you follow us, you'll know about that job and be the first uh to be more involved if you choose to. It's going to be awesome. We are having visuals and audio with the artist. He it's been an awesome experience, just really working with him and learning about what he loves and how we can create metaverses around that.
That sounds awesome. Super cool. We got a couple minutes left, and there's one more question here. With your artists' music NFTs, are they relinquishing the rights to their music when selling the NFTs, or do they still retain music royalties? Or is the NFT ownership simply connected to the single ownership of the particular NFT? For example, like a limited edition print or pressing, etc.
Yeah, so with our music artist drop that going on right now, the artist retains the IP to his music. It's a collaboration. So I'm actually creating, my team and I are creating the visuals. So and we also have another company who is doing a cool part of the technology. So I think it's a collaboration between three parties, and everyone is retaining the rights to everything. So it's more of a collaboration. With NFTs, in terms of like the IP and licensing, usually if you don't grant the licenses, the owner, the creator basically retain the licenses, unless there's something in writing. And I'm aware that a lot of the platforms don't have the licensing aspect of it. I think maybe the later one do, but most of them are pretty just a smart contract that's tied to the media itself.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights, Michelle. And it was really interesting stuff that you're doing, and really interesting topic. So thanks so much for that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And if anyone is interested, just do follow us on Definity, and we'll give you updates on how to get involved. Thank you.